Is it true that the three-time Cup champion has announced his immediate retirement from NASCAR? Tony Stewart, who is the most iconic driver in NASCAR's modern era, has been competing in NASCAR for nearly 2 decades, but now he has stated that he is sick of it and prepared to move toward the upcoming phase of his life. What Tony Stewart is up to? Is he still thinking about his future in NASCAR? Everything is in big doubt, so stay tuned and let's get your heads clear. Hello Nascarians, and welcome back to NASCAR Zone. But before we begin, do subscribe to our channel and hit the like button. Tony Stewart is a figure in the world of stock car racing whose presence is paralleled by almost no one else in the sport. Stewart is a former driver in the NASCAR Cup Series and is currently the team owner for Stewart Racing. The NASCAR Hall of Famer is one of the driving forces behind Stewart-Haas Racing at the highest level of the sport. He is not renowned for holding back on his comments, especially when he believes that the governing body has wronged him in some way. The past several weeks have not been the easiest for Stewart-Haas Racing, as they have competed in the Cup Series. 2 of their 3 drivers and teams have been hit with significant penalties during this season. Tony Stewart took to his Twitter account to express his disappointment with the sport after the recent punishment handed down to Cole Custer in Charlotte, which included penalties for crew members as well as a heavy fine. Earlier this month, NASCAR discovered an unlawfully modified single-source supplier item on Kevin Harvick's car during the post-race inspection at the R&D Center following the race at Talladega. In addition to a loss of points for both the driver and the owner, Rodney Childers was given a 4-race suspension and a fine of $100,000 as part of the penalty, following the veteran driver's pointed comments directed at the sanctioning body regarding concerns about parts failures and, more importantly, safety issues with the next-gen car. Some fans speculated that the infraction was only discovered because NASCAR targeted the veteran driver for a random inspection. This was done in response to the comments. 1 week later, the level of cynicism displayed by those fans increased exponentially after the governing body handed Cole Custer a $100,000 fine and a loss of 50 points, in addition to a $100,000 fine and an indefinite suspension of crew chief Michael Shiplett for manipulating the finish on the Charlotte Roval.
Determined from Sunday's race and from that audio at the Charlotte Roval that Cole Custer and the 41 team purposely manipulated the outcome of the race by having Cole Custer block certain cars so that his teammate Chase Briscoe could gain more points and advance to the round of 8 in the playoffs.
Cole Custer had been found guilty of manipulating the finish on the Charlotte Roval. Michael Shiplett had been found guilty of manipulating the finish on the Charlotte Roval. It should come as no surprise that the second penalty triggered Stewart. In response to the second penalty, Stewart tweeted that he is looking for a new weekend activity, something not Southeastern-based if anyone has any ideas, showing that he was interested in hearing other people's suggestions. Also, he would prefer something low-key and relaxed. If you were to suggest to Stewart some interesting activity, what it could be? Let us know in the comments section below. The 51-year-old driver refused to discuss the fines during an event that took place just over 24 hours later at Texas Motor Speedway, although he did speak about the subject subtly.
I'm glad I'm going drag racing this weekend. Super glad I'm going drag racing this weekend. And if it weren't for the fact that I've got a couple appearances that I have to make, I wouldn't be at another NASCAR race the rest of the year. Wouldn't waste my time. I'll probably get fined or suspended for that too, probably. So surprised just getting out of bed I didn't get a fine for some reason because I put the wrong foot down first. So.
Since we are moving further in the video, do subscribe to our channel for future updates on NASCAR. Tony Stewart appears to have lost interest in a field that he once dominated, according to his recent actions and opinions on the sport. This is evidenced by his recent actions and opinions on the sport. Stewart's mind process was further confirmed among fans when the 51-year-old driver said during an event at Texas Motor Speedway that he looked forward to going racing in the NHRA Drag Racing Series. This statement occurred at the same time that Stewart was racing in the event. Fans on social media speculated that he was upset with the organization that was in charge of regulating the sport, and that his decision to skip the pre-race ritual was another manifestation of his recent sentiments. NASCAR may have feared that former driver Tony Stewart would say something unfavorable about the sport in the days leading up to the race, which is another reason why Tony Stewart did not want to take on the role of Grand Marshal. Sometime later, Stewart's feelings toward the sanctioning organization did not improve when it was reported that the National Motorsports Appeals Panel had rejected the team's appeal of the Custer penalty. Stewart's feelings toward the sanctioning body have not improved this week, because the panel had issued several reversals already this year. The co-owner and the fans continued to maintain their optimism that the appeal would be successful. In line with the NASCAR rulebook, SHR has the ability to file an appeal against the decision with the National Motorsports Final Appeals Officer. That is not going to happen, and this most recent decision is yet another reason why Stewart might want to spend more time with the NHRA in the future. What do you think? Will Tony Stewart take a good comeback in NASCAR after the penalty imposed on his team? Let us know in the comments section below. The fact that Tony Stewart is losing interest in stock car racing, on the other hand, is as obvious as it has ever been to those involved in the sport, and this does not appear to be changing anytime soon. The speculations were not enough, then we got to hear that Tony Stewart raced in his first NHRA drag race in Las Vegas. Tony Stewart, who has won the NASCAR Cup 3 times, showed on Friday that he is good at drag racing, which didn't really surprise anyone. In his first ever competitive NHRA pass, the Multi-Series Motorsports champion blasted to the provisional number 2 qualifying spot in the 16-car top alcohol dragster order at the Nevada Nationals. His 5.219 second 276.52 miles per hour solo run down the strip at Las Vegas Motor Speedway's quarter mile was just 0.021 of a second slower than early leader Kim Parker's 5.198 second time, but faster than Parker's speed. After Stewart completed his first run that counted in an event, he commented that he felt relief and stated,
relief now. Now it's just like testing all over again. So yeah, the first run with a lot of people around. I mean, there's a lot of distractions in the staging lanes and stuff, but to go up and just be able to do a nice solid run, that was the big thing. So happy with that, and now we get to run with somebody. I have 2 nitro cars that are running, so now I shift gears a little bit and put my work clothes back on and get to watch Lee and Matt run. So it's good to get a break and you know, have some time outside the car for a minute. But looking forward to Q2 here. That was a really good lap.
so what can be concluded is leaving NASCAR and moving towards NHRA racing? Well, nothing can be said right now. What thoughts do you have regarding this? Keep the conversation rolling in our comments section below. That's all for today. Hope you enjoyed it. So don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel to see more of our incredible videos. Look forward to seeing you in the next video.